I know most of you, but there are maybe some who may not know me. My name is Asaf Ramadan. I'm with the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science and been involved with CySER for the past 2 years, along with Bernie and many other colleagues at ECS, at WSU and outside. What I will do today has got two parts. It's a two-part presentation. I would like to begin by giving you an overview of CySER and how this workshop looks like, what the next couple of weeks would look like in terms of content and how they are placed. You already have a printed program, but I wanted to put them in context back to what CySER was meant to do and how you may think about what the different pieces are. We have exciting things ahead, and having an overview of that will be very helpful. The second part, the longer part of this presentation, would be talking about generative machine learning for cybersecurity, and that will be given by my PhD student, James Halverson, and the majority of the time will be spent on that topic. So let me begin by kind of spelling out what CySER is. Bernie had mentioned what Viceroy stands for. Viceroy stands for Virtual Institutes for Cyber and Electromagnetic Spectrum Research and Employ. This is an initiative funded by the Department of Air Force Command through a growing program. We were the first to be funded, one of three, and this has grown now. And so nationwide, there are 6 Viceroy Institutes, and there may be more to come. This program is managed by the Griffiths Institute, and you will hear some of the people in that institute come and talk to us. And later on, when I give an overview of what this workshop looks like, you will get to see that. Our response in terms of CySER to what the Viceroy Call does was to train the next generation of ROTC and civilian students who would be interested in careers that are aligned with DoD. At the undergraduate level, that's primarily the main objective, but we have full graduate students also to play a role by mentoring undergraduate students. And typically, the graduate students in the program have got the research topic focused on cybersecurity. This was a consortium that is in the Pacific Northwest and brings 5 institutions together, which you know very well, but I will bring them up again because some of the speakers in this workshop will be coming from those institutions. We have aspired to become a center of academic excellence in cyber operations, and as Partha mentioned, the degree program that is going to start now in fall of 2023 is going to reflect that. This has been an excellent exercise to identify what the knowledge units that are needed for cyber operations are according to the National Security Agency, and these points that are needed to be met, both mandatory and optional ones. And we have designed this program, both CySER and the new degree program that's going to come, to be able to meet those needs. Here's an overview of the institutions that are involved in Viceroy, in CySER. We lead, Washington State University is the lead, and you see a long list of people involved in this program. Bernie and myself and Noel Schulz, we have been making up the PI team here, and along with Olusola Adisoke, who will come a bit later today, who has served as an external evaluator for the project, but also being involved in many of the cyber education parts of what we do. You've already met Partha and then a number of other colleagues in ECS. Some of them will be having presentations later in this workshop. Other than Washington State University, we've got Montana State University. I know there are some who are attending here, including Andrew Follen, who will be giving a tutorial later. Clem has been the lead PI there and a big supporter of this program. At the University of Idaho, we have James Alves-Foss as the site lead. At Columbia Basin College, Matthew Buenke, who I know is on the call now, attending via Zoom, and will be coming later when I give you an overview of the schedules, giving us some of the activities that happen at Columbia Basin College. The 5th member is Central Washington University, and we have new colleagues there that have joined now, and people who were involved in the original program and having to engage as their students in CySER activities. So this is an overview of the institutions we have in CySER and the people who are involved, some of them right from the beginning and others who have joined as the program went on. You already know this. Some of you are coming for the second time. Some of you are here for the first time. You know the activities that you're already involved in. We have got an upper portion of this overview diagram that gives you who this program kind of types, primarily undergraduate students, graduate mentors coming into the picture, and we have designed things that would work well, both for those who are majoring in computer science and those that are not. And we've got different activities. You already know about the seminars that happen every 2 weeks. We have a summer workshop that's taking place now and had happened the first time last year. Most of the things that we do around the CySER program involves projects, whether it is in senior design or when they are graduate students in their thesis work. Classes also contain projects, and this is one way in which the exponential learning goal of Viceroy is met. I know a couple of you have already done your internships at the Griffith Institute, and some of you have done it elsewhere, and that is another component. So you see this lower portion of this diagram that tells you about the different activities that happen in CySER and make what the program is. We have tried to find a way to encapsulate what these activities are by creating 3 certificate programs. These were the leads into what has become now the new degree program. And one of them, which most of you have met most of the requirements for when you are in your second year, and you are on your way, if you are in your first year, is called the CySER CAE-CO. And remember that CAE stands for Center of Academic Excellence, and CO stands for Cyber Operations. This is designed for those who are in computer science or software engineering. Our school leads that effort, and we have this in the books now. If you go to the WSU catalog, you will find these certificates. And this is has been there since fall 2022. The other one is meant for those that are not majoring in computer science and may not have all of the required courses for that certificate program. This is the CySER Basic Certificate, and that is laid by the place where we are hosted now, in the College of Business, and is affiliated with the Management Information Systems and Entrepreneurship program. And this also has been approved in fall 22. You will find this also in WSU catalog if you go now. The mentors, the graduate students who are involved in having the undergraduates, have got a separate certificate for that we call CySER CAE-CO Advanced. And this could be students in any of our engineering programs, in computer science, and their role in this particular program in CySER is as mentors. And most of you have done a great job, and I know some of you are attending this now. This is also led by ECS, and this has taken us a bit longer to get approved because it was harder to define what the requirements are, but we managed to get a reasonable set of conditions to be satisfied to be able to get this certificate program. That was a little bit of an overview on CySER. Let me kind of give you a picture of what this summer workshop, what your 2 weeks are going to look like. You've got a chronological time, in a way, what's going to happen on day 1, what's going to happen on day 2, all the way to June 1st, which is the last day of this workshop. But if you were to kind of group these activities around what's happening, it is one way to look at them. We'll have presentations and tutorials that will take longer time than the presentations would do. This will be one set. All of those will happen in this room, and I'm going to give a little bit of detail in the next couple of slides about that. The other one is a poster session. This is where both undergraduate and graduate students will have their posters and have a time to meet with other people, network, and discuss your results. And that is going to happen in Spark G10 tomorrow from 1 to 2:15 p.m. Right after the poster session, after we take a break, there will be a ceremony, a certificate ceremony. Those who are in their second year and have made one of those 2 certificate programs that I told you would be awarded their certificates. And if you are in first year, you should still want to come because you will be given a certificate and recognition of your participation for the first year of the program. That happens right after the poster session in the same room in Spark G10. The other event that's going to happen is on team building and leadership. And this is another thing that's going to happen outside of Todd Hall 203, where you are now, and that will happen in Spark G10. So there are two venues to remember, this and Spark G10. This team building and leadership session will be led by leaders of the ROTC program at WSU and also at Central Washington University. As you can see, you can look forward to this, where you will get a chance to have presentations, but exercises and hands-on things. And one of the reasons we would like to have it in Spark G10 is because there will be tables where you could do your team building efforts in a more convenient way than a classroom setup like this. That will be the fourth type of activity that's going to happen in this workshop. The last one is about field trips. There are 3 field trips planned, one to PNNL on May 25th, one to SEL on May 26th, and one to Fairchild Air Force Base on the very last day of the workshop on June 1st. So this is an overview by type, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the presentations and tutorials and give you a preview of those. The presentations and tutorials are going to be things that would be themed, or the topics that are covered are going to be the central trust areas in CySER. And I have grouped the ones that are sampled for this year into 4 categories. The first category is on machine learning and AI. Right after me now, James is going to talk about generative machine learning for cybersecurity. And in the afternoon, after lunch, John Adopa, who is a colleague at ECS, will be talking about anomaly detection with human in the loop, where machine learning is used. Those are 2 examples of machine learning topics that are going to happen in this workshop. The second category is on networks and information security. Today, there will be, today, after the break, there will be a presentation given by Julia Stakowski on legacy systems management and security. That will be one example of information security. Tomorrow and tomorrow's 2 consecutive sessions, Rob Krasler, who is a professor here at this department of management information systems and entrepreneurship, he would give 2 sessions separated by a break on behavioral threats and followed by risk assessment. And this will be 3 examples of topics that will be covered around networks and information security. I'm talking about presentations that are technical now, and I'll talk about things that are less technical in the slide that will come later on. One of the big topics we have in the CySER program is around cyber-physical systems, and we will hear about power systems and cybersecurity in the second week of this workshop after the Memorial Day, and that will happen on Tuesday, May 30th, and that will be given by Professor Noel Schulz, who is in the power systems area. And this will be followed by things that are related both to power system, but outside in industrial control systems on cybersecurity broader topics. And this would include purple teaming and most of the cybersecurity professional things that we would need in a career. And this will be given by Tim Scholz from Skype, and that will happen right after Professor Schulz's presentation. On that day, after the break, there will be a presentation on cybersecurity in industrial control systems, and that will be given by Nathan Kidd from SEL. Not leaving the cyber-physical systems, we'll get a chance to see one example of an activity that Bernie and his students lead on biological systems and simulating cyber attacks on them, and that will be given on Wednesday, May 31st. The fourth category is on software security and quality assurance. We will have 3 presentations on that topic, one on hardware and malware detection and how to do the recovery using FPGAs, one of the newest architectures you can imagine, and this is given by Chris Ledger from Montana State University. Another example on software security and quality assurance is on securing the supply chain in a company. And this will be given by Slater Weinstock from Kazaba Security, and that happens on Friday, May 26th. The third example I have on software quality, security and quality assurance will be given by a colleague from ECS here, who is working a great deal on mobile malware, especially on Android systems, and he will talk about sustainability defenses against evolving mobile malware. Those were presentations, but you'll get a chance to do your hands dirty and have longer ones that I would call tutorials. There will be a tutorial on user interface for interpretation of code vulnerabilities that will be given, I think today in the afternoon by John Miller from the WC Tri-Cities campus. We'll get a chance to hear from Dave Wells from Central Washington University on deepfakes and ChatGPT on Wednesday, May 24th. There will be a tutorial, a 2-hour tutorial on graph mining for insider threat detection by Professor Larry Holder from WSU, and that happens on Wednesday, May 21st. Andrew Fallon, who I know is here, will give a tutorial on digital forensics on Tuesday, May 30th. And Jim Aldespos from University of Idaho will give another tutorial on Linux tools for binary reverse engineering, and that happens on Wednesday, May 31st. I've tried to list them these in a time where they are chronologically ordered. But then we've got 5 relatively long, and some of them having exercises that you will be doing using the workstations that you have here, where you have been given instructions what to install and what sort of things to do. We also have presentations that are not technical, that would be focused on collaborations and opportunities. We will have, as I mentioned, colleagues coming from the Air Force Research Lab, NRI, and Sonia Glumich will be here tomorrow, will give a cyber overview and opportunities at the FRA. Aaron Darlington, who is at the Keyport North Underwater Warfare Center, I think is what the right word is, would give a presentation after the poster session and the celebrations to talk about DoD collaborations and opportunities there. Internship opportunities at the Griffith Institute that will be given by Jennifer McCullough from Griffith Institute, and that happens on Wednesday. We also have somebody from another Viceroy Institute giving a presentation on vehicular security, and that happens on Friday, May 26th. Matt Boynke, who I mentioned earlier, who is on the call now, would lead a couple of events on Saturday, May 27th, one on Army Cyber Command and another on the National Week. And we will have also a chance to have a table discussion with Alexander Salazar and Daniel Brown from CySER, and that will happen on Wednesday, May 31st. Those are presentations that are about collaborations and opportunities. To round off the things that are going to happen in terms of presentations, we've got 2 that are, I don't put them in the category called technical. I don't put them in the category I called collaborations and opportunities, but I like to think of them as things that will help with professional skills. On Wednesday, May 24th, we will have day in the life of a cybersecurity professional type of discussion between Slater Weinstock and Chris Hundhausen, who would, where Chris will ask how what the day in a cybersecurity professional would look like to Slater, and we look forward to that. And that happens on Wednesday, May 21st. The last kind of presentation that's going to happen and going to be the kind of takeaway message would be given by Sola Disope, who would talk about getting the most out of your internship. Sola would be traveling that day, and I asked him to see if there is a way to, he asked if he could find a way to find another slot, and I said, this is the best way. And having heard what he had to say last year, I thought this would be something that we would want to remember and a good way to finish the presentations on. On June 1st, we will have the trip to Air Force Base and Fairchild Air Force Base. And so this will be happening on the last day of the workshop. Sola had been both an evaluator for this project, but he also has been involved very heavily with cyber education, and the things that have happened along the creation of this program and the insights he has gathered would be a valuable thing to hear at that time. So I want to thank Tola for the flexibility. So he would have a recorded message. That day, he will have a trip to a very important mission he has been called to help with in terms of consulting. And so I insisted on having that message delivered on that day. And he said, okay, to doing this over a recorded message at the time. And so I want to say thanks for your flexibility and all of the great work you've been doing in terms of helping us be on track in terms of evaluation, but also spearhead our cyber education efforts. And so with that, I'm going to stop here. I'd be happy to take questions if you have, but we will go to part 2 of this presentation where you would hear about generative machine learning for cybersecurity. Let me take some questions if you have them.
That's fine. Might be good to inform the students what we think for the future. What do we expect next?
So if the question is meant about what the future looks like for people who have a cybersecurity background in their education, is huge. The entire nation, whether it is in our industry, whether it is in defense-related things, whether it is in academia, the national labs, there is a huge demand, unmet demand for cybersecurity experts and people who have a strong skill in things that are around computer science. If that's what your question is about.
Well, that's really good information and essential.
Yeah.
What I meant is the program will continue.
We've got the certificate programs on the book, and they will continue. If you happen to be, and this would apply both to those that are in this room and those friends you may have elsewhere, if you go for the cybersecurity degree program, you would meet more than what is needed in terms of coursework, and therefore you would have a cybersecurity degree that has got strong computer science piece in it. And it also has got exponential learning pieces. The CySER program is expected to continue. We are pushing forward, having to extend the program for a 3rd year and even have more things to come in terms of building capacity. And so that means the certificate programs will continue to exist. And that means the summer workshop, if you've done it once or twice, you will not need to do it, but others can do. And in fact, it will be a resource that will be available for other Viceroy institutes in the country. If you have the degree program, one of the advisors in EECS has told me there are students who still would like to get the certificates, even if they are having a cybersecurity degree, which means you've got less things to satisfy, but they will have more than one diploma in a way to get it. And so the certificate programs will continue. CySER, as an institute, is expected to continue for a couple more years. We have been regarded highly by the people who run the program, and we are getting ready to have even more things added to it and other institutions being involved as well. So the future as a virtual institute for CySER looks good. And so we have all the hopes for it to be continuing for a few more years. If not, I'm going to, I think you don't need a break. The break will happen right after this. I'm going to make James Stoke take over and talk about generative machine learning.